Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am yours truly, the one and only Ricky Tiki Tavi. No, I'm just playing with you guys, but I'm happy and I'm glad to be here all with you on P Stars Radio. The time is now 10:32 a.m. and I am back, but I've already been back. I'll just say that I've already been back since Tuesday, right? Because last week I had a bit of an absence. And for those of you who know, you already know. But again, I'm back and I'm happy to be here. Let's jump straight into it. How you guys doing so far? How are you guys doing so far? Are you guys doing all right? Are you guys doing good? How's your week been, right? For those of you who've already started school, classes, how's your first week of classes been? How's your first week of school been? So on and so forth, right? At times, the beginning or the first week, at least for college, because I haven't started classes yet. I'm starting classes this upcoming week, and usually the first week of classes are pretty hectic. It's crazy. People scrambling all over the place trying to find their classes and all that stuff, right? For those of you who are in college, you're trying to scramble all over campus trying to find your homeroom. Then you're scrambling over the book room. You're trying to find your necessary textbooks for classes, so on and so forth. And you got long lines. Mom, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the support. The number one supporter of P-Stars, by the way. I'm just going to give a round of applause to my mom, right? The number one supporter of the show. P-Stars in general. Mom, thanks again for your support. It's very much so appreciated. But back to what I was saying again. For the first week of school, right? First week of classes, it's usually pretty hectic. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? People try to figure out what they got to do, where they got to go, what books they need, where their homeroom class is, so on and so forth. It's usually crazy. But I sincerely hope that the first week of classes or school has gone well for you. And I wish and pray for the best for this school year. And again, this goes for elementary school, kindergarten, going all the way up to high school, and then for all the college students going on with their semesters. All right, so I wish you all the best there, and I will continue to pray for the best, and I hope you all do so for me as well. Now, I want to start off with asking everybody as well. This is a usual routine of mine, right? When I start the show, I usually ask the viewers that are watching how your day has been, how's your life been, work life, again, school life, so on and so forth. And I talk about the three things that people should usually take care of on a daily basis. And it's the mental, physical, and your spiritual health. And I always like to offer solutions as to what one can do to manage your mental, physical, and your spiritual health as much as possible. And so one of the solutions that I like to offer or provide in terms of managing these things are, first and foremost, number one, going to God in prayer, because prayer, in my opinion, is the best medicine, right? But prayer is the number one option. Second is working out. For some, it could be cooking. For others, it could be cleaning. For others, again, it could be yoga, right? And for others, again, it could be speaking to a family member or a friend or somebody who you deem trustworthy to speak about your current situations with, right? Because that doesn't hurt in speaking to somebody when it comes to like managing your mental, physical, and your spiritual health. And so these are things that I offer people because I don't want people to keep these things bottled up inside where they're dealing with these things on their own and by themselves, right? Especially when you have somebody that can be in your corner that is willing and able to help you. I always recommend or I always encourage people to seek help, look for help, and embrace and accept that help, right? Embrace and accept the help. All right, so these are some of the solutions, right, and the some of the ways that I can offer you in terms of managing your, again, mental, physical, and your spiritual health. Okay, but the very best solution that I'm able to give you is to go to God in prayer. At least for me, that's one of the greatest, the best solution is going to God in prayer and asking Him for His assistance and asking Him for His help and managing these things for you to the best of your ability, all right? So that is that for the intro. That's what I like to call it, the intro to the show. And now to dive deep into the juicy stuff. The juicy stuff that I'm referring to is the NFL preseason is already underway. Yep, the NFL preseason is here. Now, granted, this isn't the regular season, right? We still got, what do I say, like October, I believe? October, maybe late September, but I think it's October, where the regular season will begin for the NFL. But as of now, we get to see a little sneak peek. We get to see some actions from our recent NFL draftees of the NFL. We got to see a little bit of action from, for those of you who may not be familiar with Shooter Sanders, the son of Deion Sanders, who is also known as Coach Prime, who is a head coach of, I believe, bro, this is ridiculous. Colorado University. Shooter Sanders, we've seen a little bit of a sneak peek action coming from this individual player here. And this is a player here. Shooter Sanders here is a player where, for whatever reason, I guess people didn't expect so much coming out of him. People didn't expect too much coming out of him, considering that he wasn't one of the top draft picks of the NFL, right? And I believe that some people would have thought that he would be one of the top draft picks of the NFL because he's the son of Coach Prime, who is, again, also known as Deion Sanders. So, not a lot of people expected too much from him, from this individual player, but considering his NFL preseason debut match, he did very well for that debut match that he had. Very, very well. And it did catch a lot of people by surprise. It didn't really catch me by surprise. I didn't really have too much of a expectation from this individual player. If I'm being honest with you, I don't have really any expectations for all of these draft picks in the NFL. I don't have any expectations. What I'm doing here is I'm coming in with an open mind, seeing the skill set of each and every single individual player that has been drafted to play for their respective team. That's all I'm doing. That is all I'm doing. You see, for me, I kind of learned my lesson, when it came to last year's draft pick, right? Some of the players that I thought would, be going off in the regular season of the NFL didn't do too much going off, right? And then other players where I didn't have too much of an opinion on and how what I think they would do actually went off. For one, the example that I have is Caleb Williams of the Chicago Bears. I, for one, almost thought that he would go off, considering he was the number one pick in the NFL, going to the Chicago Bears. But, in my opinion, I don't think he did terrible. He didn't. But I guess he didn't live up to the expectations that I had for a number one pick. And I get the pressure that a lot of these guys will have entering into a big league like this. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of pressure. But, again, he didn't really live up to the standards or the expectations that I had for a number one pick in the NFL. And then you have Jaden Daniels, right, who was still one of the top picks of the NFL, right? But he was the fourth pick. And I honestly didn't expect too much of him. But then we were able to see what he was able to do last season, almost leading the Washington Commanders to the NFL Super Bowl, but failed in their attempt to do so. But again, Jaden Daniels performed extremely well, very, very well, very great. And I believe he won the NFL Rookie of the Year award. And I believe it was for the defensive NFL Rookie of the Year award. I might be mixed up with that, but the point is he won NFL Rookie of the Year, and that just goes to show you how skillful and talented that this individual is. But again, this all goes back to me just entering into this NFL season with an open mind, no expectations necessarily for each and every single player, but just to see how well each player can do this preseason and this upcoming regular season of the NFL. That's all I'm doing. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less for me, all right? So, again, we got to see what Shooter Sanders was able to do his NFL preseason debut. And now we will get the chance to see him, perform again today, this afternoon at 1 o'clock, going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, all right? So we'll get a chance to see what he will do this afternoon. And then, I'll go into the preseason debut, not preseason debut, but the preseason matchups for today, all right? So we have the Packers, who will be facing off the Colts at 1 p.m. We have the Patriots going up against the Vikings, again at 1 p.m. Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins, going up against the Detroit Lions at 1 p.m. And again, we have the the Cleveland Browns, the Cleveland Browns, who will be going up against the Philadelphia Eagles at also 1 p.m. We have the Panthers, who will be facing off against the Texans at 1 p.m. Then we have the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Raiders at 4 p.m. We have the Los Angeles Chargers, going up against the Los Angeles Rams, right, and at 7 p.m. We have the Buccaneers facing off against the Steelers at, again, 7 p.m. We have the Jets going up against the Giants at 7 p.m. We have the Ravens facing up against the Cowboys, 7 p.m. And then finally, we will have the Cardinals, who will be going up against the Broncos at 9:30 p.m. So that's a whole plate. The NFL is serving you up a whole plate of preseason matchups tonight with all these teams. So we get to see each and every single individual team with each and every single individual player and their rookies perform to the best of their abilities to see who can secure what spot for the regular season of the NFL. Me personally, I'm excited. I just started recently getting into football. The players, the plays, the matchups, so on and so forth. This, for one, looks like an exciting season for the NFL, and I, for one, am here for it. So tune in for these matchups. Tune in. Again, it's a whole plate full of matches today. So I, for one, am going to be anticipating the Browns and the Eagles, right? Our recent champions of the NFL Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm anticipating what this matchup is going to look like this afternoon at 1 p.m. So, again, stay tuned for that. And then for the NBA, we already have our schedules that are released for the upcoming season of the NBA. Now, it's all looking very, very spicy. Should I say so myself? Very spicy, very, very beautiful. And what we have so far, we have the opening night matches for the NBA. We have the opening week matches for the NBA. We also have, we also have the the NBA Cup. We're still going strong with the NBA Emirates Cup. We also have matches set up for that as well. And then we have the Christmas Day. We have the Christmas Day matches for the NBA also set. And then the Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I believe that's also the Rivals Week. Yeah, that is the Rivals Week for the NBA as well. That will be that will be happening, where all the schedules are made up for that as well. So I'm going to go in and tell you all the matchups that we have for opening week. So for opening night, we have the Oklahoma City Thunders, who will be going up against the Houston Rockets on opening night of the NBA regular season. Again, we have our recent NBA champions, who will be going up against the Houston Rockets, who is now made up of Kevin Durant, Fred VanVleet, and you have a lot of the other core players as well, who will be facing off on opening night, alongside the Los Angeles Lakers going up against your very own truly Golden State Warriors. That's me. That is me. That is my group right here. And I, for one, I'm not gonna lie, we are missing a big here. We're missing a big for the Golden State Warriors, but I'm still not worried. I'm not worried for our opening night matchup, which will be happening in, I believe, our home court. I think that the Golden State Warriors, I think the Dubs will secure our first W for the regular season of the NBA. Now, y'all might think different. But I still don't care. Why? Because the Dubs have what it takes. I believe sometimes as well, sometime during the regular season of the NBA, we gotta have a big at some point, and I think we're gonna get one. I don't know when, I don't know who, and I don't know from where, but I think that sometime in the regular season, maybe pushed out to January of next year, so that we will receive a big from somewhere. We do need a big. I can't lie to you. We do need a big in our team. After losing Kevin Looney and sending him to the New Orleans Pelicans, that did hit me pretty hard. But we got to have a big somewhere, and I think we're gonna get that big. So again, I'm not worried about it. We're still kudos. We're still good. Golden State Warriors still have what it takes to come out on top, and that's just me, just saying. But that's opening night's matchup. OKC going up against Houston, and then LA, who will be facing off against the Golden State Warriors. Nah, Pops. Listen, man. Listen, Pops. That's not what it is. Listen, the Heat is a good team. Let's make this clear. The Heat is a good team. I was never necessarily a Heat fan. Pops, I think you know this too. I was never necessarily a Heat fan, but they are good. But it's Golden State for life over here, right? GSW for life. That's just me. But opening week matchups, we have the New York Knicks going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Dallas Mavs going up against the San Antonio Spurs. That's opening week matchup. And then we have also Indiana Pacers going up against the Oklahoma City Thunders. It's a rematch of a century. Not a century. I'm going too far with that. But a rematch between two teams who went in the finals. But this is going to be minus Tyrese Halliburton, right? It's going to be minus Tyrese Halliburton, considering his Achilles tendon, or Achilles injury, his Achilles injury from the finals match, right? Against the finals match going up against OKC. This matchup between OKC and Indiana Pacers, again, is going to be minus Tyrese Halliburton, all right? So we have Indiana going up against OKC, then Golden State Warriors again going up against Denver Nuggets, and then we have the New York Knicks facing the Boston Celtics, and Los Angeles Lakers facing the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then Detroit Pistons going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and again, Minnesota Timberwolves facing off against the Denver Nuggets. these are your opening week matchups for the NBA. These are your opening week, again, matchups for the NBA. And I'm gonna go straight to the Christmas Day matchups. I'm gonna skip the Emirates Cup matches. We're gonna get into that sometime soon later on, but I'm gonna skip that for now and go straight to the Christmas Day matches. These are, in my opinion, the most influential or important matches to the NBA, or at least to me, at least. But again, for Christmas Day, we have the New York Knicks, who will be facing off against the Cleveland Cavaliers on Christmas Day. We also have the OKC Thunders facing off against the San Antonio Spurs. We have the Golden State Warriors going up against Dallas Mavericks, right? Going up against our dear old friend Klay Thompson, playing alongside Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and their newly rookie Cooper Flag. It will be Golden State Warriors going up against the Dallas Mavericks there. Then the Los Angeles Lakers, who will be going up against the Houston Rockets. And then finally, we have the Denver Nuggets, who will be facing off against the Minnesota Timberwolves for your Christmas Day matchup. And then for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, or what they would like to call, I guess, the Rivals Week, we have the Atlanta Hawks, who will be going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers, who will be facing off against the OKC Thunders. We have the New York Knicks, who will be facing off against the Dallas Mavs. And then finally, we will have the Detroit Pistons, who will be going up against the Boston Celtics. So these are your matchup schedules for the NBA regular season. The preseason hasn't started yet. The preseason of the NBA has not started yet. I think they'll be starting around, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, early October. Could be early October or late September. One of the two, right? But the preseason has not yet started for the NBA, whereas the NFL season, or preseason, has already started. So, again, I'm excited. I'm very excited. We got to see, what we were able to see for last season, right, for both the NFL and the NBA. And now we are getting into a new season, a new era, right? We got a new squad of players. We got players moved from different teams to other teams, so on and so forth. And so you can only anticipate so much as to what to expect coming into this year's NBA and NFL season. But again, nonetheless, I am excited and I cannot wait to see what is in store for both teams. Oh, sorry, not both teams, but both the NFL and the NBA, all right? So, again, stay tuned for that. And now we'll get into the verse of the day. We'll finally get into the verse of the day. And the verse of the day will come from 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 3. The verse will be coming from 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 3. Excuse me. Verset sorti dans 1 Pierre, non, 2 Pierre chapitre 1, verset 3. Encore verset sorti dans 2 Pierre chapitre 1, verset 3. 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 3. I will begin reading. And it reads, His divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life through our knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness. Allow me to read that for you one more time. And it reads, His divine power has given us everything we need for a godly life through our knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness. So, I want to make this very simple with this verse. With God, we have everything that we need. Allow me to repeat that for you one more time. With God, we have everything that we need. We aren't lacking anything without God. But that's if you have God. If you don't have God, then it doesn't matter what else you may have that is of this world. You have nothing without God. Without God, there is nothing for you to have. There is nothing for you to gain, because without God, you have nothing. But with Him, we have everything that we need. And so it's a mindset of going throughout your daily life, right? With being grateful of what you have, grateful of where you are in life, right? Grateful of how far you made it in life, because without Him, you would not have been able to make it this far. But because God is the front runner of your life, because you make God the center of your life, because you make God a priority in your life, then you aren't without anything. You aren't missing out on anything. There is no FOMO when you have God. Understand that, people. With God, there is no FOMO. And for those of you who know what FOMO is, or for those of you who don't know what FOMO is just an acronym for the fear of missing out. FOMO, fear of missing out. There is no fear of missing out when you have God in your life, because God is the one who's directing your life. God is the one who's leading your life. God is the author of your life. So if God is the author of your life, the one directing your life, the one leading your life, then you don't have to fear about what you're missing out or what you're lacking, because God has everything. God is everything. God is everything. He has everything. And God is the one who is in control. And so with the person who knows this, who truly knows this and believes this for themselves, they will never have to worry about anything in life. Anything. Because no matter what may come, no matter what is waiting for them, God already has everything under control. And so that's what I want everyone to know in terms of their own life, in terms of your own life. It doesn't matter what you might be going through now, or what you might think you might be lacking now, right? None of that matters, because as long as you know that you have God in your life, that you've given God the go ahead, the green light to lead your life, then you won't have to worry about anything, because God is the one that will supply you with every single thing that you need. Everything. And why? Because God knows exactly what you need. He knows exactly what you need, and He knows exactly what's going to work best for you, because God is only looking out for our best interest. As His people, as His children, God will always be looking out for your best interest, no matter what the situation is. He always has your best interest at heart, and this is what I want people to understand. So we don't have to keep going through life, doubting or fearing or thinking that we're missing out on something that's so grand and so special, because again, with God in your life, you already have everything. You have absolutely everything, and there's nothing that you are lacking without God. But there's nothing that you are lacking with God, but without God in your life, then you are nothing. You are nothing, and you have nothing. All right? So that's what I want you all to remember in your lives. That's what I want you all to continue to hold dear in your life, and have that sense of belief that with God, I lack nothing. All right? With Him, I lack nothing. So that's the verse of the day. Again, the verse comes out from 2 Peter chapter 1 verses 3. Bam pou an ti tan pou m kapab explike sa en Creole. OK? Sa m bezon pou kompwen, si ou gen bon Dieu nan la vie ou pa manke rien. Ou pas manquer rien si ou gen bon Dieu dans la vie. Mais, si ou pas gen bon Dieu dans la vie, ou pas rien. Parce que sans bon Dieu, ou pas rien, ou pas qu'à vivre la vie, ou pas qu'à vivre la vie, et puis ou pas traverser côté où est kounya sans bon Dieu. C'est ça besoin pour comprendre. Parce que bon Dieu lui-même, il toujours pensé avec ça qui est plus bon pour nous. C'est bon Dieu lui-même qui a dirigé la vie nous. C'est bon Dieu lui-même qui a prend soin tout ça nous gagne dans la vie nous, la prend soin nous. C'est lui-même celle qui a fait bagage ça pour nous. Mais faut qu'on comprenne ça. Si vous avez un bon Dieu dans la vie, ou pas besoin de peur, ça ou perdu ou bien ça ou pas gagné parce que c'est bon Dieu lui-même qui a protégé toute bagage ça. C'est lui-même celle qui connaît qui ça a besoin. Bon Dieu celle connaît qui ça a besoin. Bon Dieu celle connaît ça qui est bon pour vous. So, si vous avez un bon Dieu dans la vie, ou pas besoin de penser ou manquer rien. Ou pas besoin de penser bagage ça parce que c'est bon Dieu lui-même, c'est bon Dieu seul qui a planifié la vie en abondance. Sorry. So, c'est lui-même qui gagne contrôle ça. Yo. C'est bon Dieu seul qui gagne contrôle tout bagage ça. So, j'ai besoin pour comprendre ça. Si vous pas gagne bon Dieu dans la vie, ou manquez tout bagage. Ou manquez tout bagage. Mais, si vous gagne bon Dieu dans la vie, si vous mettez bon Dieu en premier dans la vie, si vous faites bon Dieu, comment on peut dire ça? Si vous mettez bon Dieu en priorité, dans toute l'autre bagage dans la vie, ou pas manquer rien. OK? Parce que bon Dieu pas jamais oublier petit li, li pas jamais laguer petit li dans route, et puis li pas jamais négligence avec petit li. OK? So, m'ai besoin pour tout comprendre ça, m'ai besoin pour tout gagner la foi dans bon Dieu parce que m'ka comprendre nous gagne un pile problème qui passer dans la vie nous, un jour après l'autre, ou après un autre problème encore. Mais faut qu'à gagner la foi dans bon Dieu, faut qu'à toujours camper dans la parole bon Dieu, dans toute ça li te promet nous. Et puis si vous kembe ça dans cœur, si vous kembe ça dans la vie, et puis on continuer ouais comment bon Dieu ka travaille dans la vie, et puis ou connaît dans laisse connaît ou pas besoin de peur rien parce que c'est bon Dieu qui en contrôle. C'est bon Dieu qui connaît tout ça besoin, tout ça a besoin tout, il connaît tout ça déjà et puis c'est lui-même qui travaille sur lui pour. OK? So encore verset sorti dans 2 Pierre chapitre 1 verset 3. The verse comes from 2 Peter chapter 1 verses 3. Hold it dear in your heart. With God I am lacking nothing. With God, I'm lacking nothing. But without God, I am nothing. All right? So, again, that's the verse of the day for you. I love you guys. I am way over time. But I will see you all here on Tuesday. All right? You all take care.